Hi everyone and welcome back to your weekly installment of the Top 10. These are the hottest selling cards in Magic the Gathering this week, March 29th to April 5th of 2025. And just how many Tarkir Dragonstorm cards are on the list? Well, stay tuned. Hi everyone and welcome back. MTG Moxman here, and thanks again for stopping by the channel for another Top 10 video. Hottest selling cards is unbelievable this week. We got some crazy cards taking the top spot. We got fun cards all over the place. And of course, if you're shopping for any of these cards, don't forget to use my TCG Player affiliate link found in the description of the video. Now let's jump in to, of course, the number 10 card. It's Serac the Dragonclaw Commander Dominaria United. I know, Dominaria is an old set. Why is this card coming up? Yeah, it has everything to do with Tarkir Dragonstorm, so get ready for this stuff, guys. It had 990 sales, or $9,306 of total sales action. Now, what's going on with this card? Well, when we take a look and see the overall value climb, of course, it was after January and leads right into our current month, and that's because this card has a lot of commander play being seen right now, and players like to exploit new cards as much as possible. The monthly change is $6.02. This thing has seen a drastic increase. Now, what do we get? What are we spending our money on? This is a 5 casting cost, 1 red, 1 blue, and 1 green and 2 other. Now, it's a human warrior legendary creature with flash, and it can't be countered, but also creature spells you control can't be countered, and of course, other creatures you control now have trample. Yeah, you can see where this card is becoming pretty popular with dragons, right? Okay, our next card is Windcrag Siege Tarkir Dragonstorm. It's only $1.76, but it had 1,307 sales already. That's $2,300. And guys, you have to understand, this is the pre-release weekend, and we're already seeing some major shifts in the attitudes of players spending money. This card is really, it's got a lot of action going on, I got to admit it. There was a lot of people talking about it. So what are we getting and what are we looking at? Well, this isn't a high value target. You see the pre-price was like 15 bucks and it just crashed down, as with many other cards. Now, when we look at the weekly change of minus $12, it makes you wonder, why were people even excited about the card? Well, for 1 white, 1 red, and 1 other, the Windcrag Siege is going to get us somewhere as an enchantment. It says, as it enters, choose Mardu or Jeskai. If you choose Mardu, the creature attacking causes trigger abilities of a permanent you control to trigger an additional time, or at the beginning of your upkeep, create a 1/1 red goblin token creature. Not bad, guys. Not bad at all. Now, we've got Fanatical Offering. I know, guys, the Lost Caverns of Ixalan. 1,420 sales. It's only 355 bucks. There's nothing going on here. This is a nothing burger in terms of value, but people are buying the card for some reason, right? So, Fanatical Offering at 25 cents, it's really inexpensive. But when we look at what this card's been doing, it hasn't been doing anything. So why are we seeing this sudden shift in sales? Why are players attracted suddenly? There's no monthly change, no weekly change. Well, we better look at this card to find out exactly what we're talking about. Get ready, get your coffee. Let's look at this card. So Fanatical Offering, 1 black, 1 other. Okay? Artwork, by the way, not bad. Now, when we go down this card, let's not forget the instant speed. As an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice an artifact or a creature, and then you draw 2 cards and create a map token. Well, there's a lot of stuff going on right now with triggered abilities and being able to sack things to kill creatures and get new abilities and get new... Yeah, you can see where I'm going. It's a great card. Now, Mistrise Village. I managed to open a couple of these in my pre-release kit, and I'll talk about that on my live stream, but this thing had 1,525 sales, $27,000 plus of total sales action. This card has Commander written all over it, and every player is well aware of what this card is going to do for them when they can get their hands on it. So, this thing here is above the $20 mark. It's settling in right now at $14.97. And the good news is a lot of players like the look of the card. The best news is it's getting cheaper every day, which is good news for everyone. Take advantage of it while it's cheap. It's not going to stay there. Be aware of that. Now, when we look at the Mistrise Village, let's not forget the cool, iconic looking artwork. This reminds me of the good old days. Now, this land comes into play tapped unless you control a mountain or a forest. It can tap to add blue to your mana pool, or you can pay 1 blue, and the next spell you cast, well, it can't be countered. That's awesome. That's it. It sells itself. Now our next card, High Tide. Guys, High Tide. As soon as this thing got unbanned, High Tide jumps in. 1,760 sales. It's only $1,161 of total sales action. This is not like it's a super expensive card. There's lots of reprinted copies of this out there. And of course, this is what, Dominaria United, I believe? Yeah, I think that's the copy we're looking at. Now, when we look at High Tide as an actual card, and depending on the artwork you prefer, because you got some good choices out there, this card says, until end of turn, whenever a player taps an island for mana, that player adds an additional blue mana. So you can get a lot of mana from this thing and do some crazy stuff. Keep it in mind. Brain Geyser back in the day was one of our favorites. Now, this card has seen a sudden shift up in value of a few pennies. Like, this is not some major transactional thing, but 17 cents on a 60-cent card, okay, it's worth mentioning. For me, it's just the sheer amount of sales. It's kind of cool to see where it's gone, and I wonder how long it'll stay there. But don't worry, our next card is High Tide from Fallen Empires at 87 cents. That's right, it takes the number 5 slot. 1,802 sales. 1,567 as total sales action. Guys, we have the exact same card, but because both versions sold so much, they're in my top 10. Crazier things have happened. I just can't figure any in my brain right now. So, what's going on again is we have a card that got unbanned with the announcement on the 31st, and the sales just kept coming. Now, most players own a couple of copies of High Tide, but depending on how many decks you're using or what you're creating in your pauper decks, you might be deciding to really bust into this thing, and a lot of speculators, of course, are diving in too, because if they can sell them for $1 a piece, they're making a killing off a card that was only a few pennies, right? Exact same thing. I mean, nothing's actually changed. It says until end of turn, all islands produce an additional blue. Exactly! That's just what I read in the other card. Let's move on. Let's forget this happened. 2 cards in a row. Now, the Voice of Victory. Voice of Victory. This thing's been falling in price. It takes the number 4 slot this week, and of course, it's still got some good sales. 1,987 sales is $13,610 of total sales action. This one's a little bit different, okay? This one actually is something we have seen kind of come onto the board before. We knew it was going to be a good card, and now it's really getting there. So when we look at the Voice of Victory, okay? I keep saying the Voice of Victory, but it's just Voice of Victory. Human Bard, that's a rare. It's a 1/3. Mobilize 2, but it also has your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. Well, that's just awesome. I mean, guys, come on. They can't stop what you're going to do. You can just build like anti-creature, like you can't counter anything I do decks. But the great news is, again, for players looking to buy these cards, they're all falling in price. The more of these things we're seeing opened, the more of these things are falling in price. Guys, if you're enjoying these cards, I'm telling you now, it's probably a good chance you should take advantage of it. Now, our next card is the Deathrite Shaman. And this, again, is Return to Ravnica, taking the number 3 spot this week with 2,168 sales. This card continues to see continued pressure on the market. Thank goodness it's been reprinted before, because the price would be a lot higher. $29,000 of sales action, guys. And this isn't even the number 1 card this week. Remember that. This isn't number 1. It gets more insane from here. Now, the Deathrite Shaman. This thing has been taking off again right here into 2025, and it hasn't really let up. Now, the Deathrite Shaman is a single casting cost, 1 black or 1 green for a creature elf shaman. Exile target land from a graveyard, and you get to add a mana. You can exile an instant card or a sorcery card from a graveyard. Opponent loses 2 life. Or you can exile a creature card, and you get to gain 2 life. Kind of nice card to have around. It has a few options available, and those options are all looking pretty sweet right now. Now, the overall action this month, it's changed over $9 in price. $9 from where this thing was, which means it was like a $5, $6 card. It's more than doubled in price. It's pretty impressive, guys. Can't say it's not. Now, our number 2 card. Here we have Miirym the Sentinel Wyrm. This card comes in again, 2,258 sales. This is on Tarkir Dragonstorm, 100%. Commander Builders spent $26,000 buying this card and getting in there. But if they had bought it, of course, 2 weeks ago, yeah, would have been able to get it for 80 cents. Crazy to think that these are cards we've talked about for months, and look what happens. It's insane. All right, but the good news is, again, it is falling in price, everyone. Okay, let's not forget. It is getting cheaper to get. Now, this thing is a 6 casting cost, okay? It has flying, it has ward, and of course, whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, create a copy that's a token of it, except it isn't legendary if that drag is legendary. Ooh, not bad. Not bad at all. Love cards like this. All right, now, when we go and look at the overall sales action for cards like this, you can see it spiked up with interest. Tarkir Dragonstorm gets announced. Things go insane. People are like, it's not in a commander deck. Oh my goodness, I need to get my hands on it. But as with all things like this, the option to buy becomes a lot more attractive when it finally gets cheaper again. And it's heading that direction, okay? Give this thing another month, it's back to being a $5 card. So good luck, everyone. Now, let's go here. Number 1. This is the Master Multiplied. I just talked about it a day ago. And look at this thing. 4,825 sales is my total sales count. And that equals out to $125,400 of total sales action. The Master Multiplied for Doctor Who went from being an 80-cent card, and here's the crazy thing, it keeps going up in value. It was at $20 yesterday, now it's at $25, and the thing's still going, and the sales keep racking up. And I'm starting to see this thing appear on wish lists of players hoping to buy a copy. And I know there's still decks out there, as I've been told. You just got to be able to find them, guys. Insane. Now, this card now has seen an increase of $25.03 on the month. That is an insane number to see on a card that was 80 cents. And it looks like players aren't letting up. The Pool Boy has had some major effects in the secondary market. This is something we got to talk about right now. Now, if you're one of the players out there who follows this secondary market action as much as I do, you can see the same thing I'm seeing. We have a huge influx of cards coming from Tarkir Dragonstorm. And that's having a two-pronged effect. You get a whole bunch of players in Commander trying to get the cards they need. You also have a whole bunch of Standard players trying to build the decks they can build as quick as humanly possible before the cards really get out there. They just want to buy the cards as they're falling, and let me tell you, these cards are falling in price. I will follow up Monday with a video about what's happening with Tarkir Dragonstorm individual pricing. The numbers are absolutely insane and a little bit shockingly scary, but we'll talk about that. Now, here's what's happening though. With all these cool, crazy cards coming out of the market, we've also seen an increase in the amount of sales that I thought would be possible in a week over week. We're seeing an influx of new sales of individual cards. I saw a whole bunch of copies of cards I wouldn't expect to see selling from like Karlov Manor, Ixalan, all the way through. And this is good. This is good. It's showing a lot of secondary market action. Now the bad news. The bad news on things like this is it isn't always showing in the market space. It's not making a top 10 video for selling 600 copies or 700 copies. Tiamat still sold like 350 copies, even though that thing has shot up through the roof in price. 350 copies. You have all kinds of other mid to high level dragons, the ancient dragons. You have a lot of cards that are worth quite a bit of money selling 100 to 200 copies a week. Now, 100 to 200 copies doesn't seem like a huge thing, but when it's a $60 card, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money moving that's not really being capsulated inside of a top 10 video. Now, I think when I look at these videos, of course, I'm capturing the highest sales volumes to let you guys know where the cards are going. But I like to mention these cards at the end of the video so you get a better picture of just the overall market sense of what players are buying and the interest level. And the good news is the interest is high. It's really doing well right now, which I thought, I mean, with all these things about tariffs and uncertainty, I thought things would be easing off, and maybe they will. But it is tax time, and it looks like a lot of people are spending some money. Now, don't forget, tomorrow, top 10 reserve list cards. Hey, we're here at the end. We made it. It's another top 10 video. Crazy sales numbers. I mean, when you look at some of the cards. Anyway, besides the point, what are we here again for? This is the end. What happens at the end? We thank the patrons. We thank the YouTube membership members. That's right. Okay, guys, thanks again for being here. Because of my patrons and YouTube membership members, videos like this are made possible each and every day. Without them, it just wouldn't happen. So thanks again, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video. Welcome back to the Ramble Jamble, guys. You have made it here again. You're at the after party. Don't worry. Don't worry. You paid your cover charge. Everything back here is free. You just get to chill. Chilling like a villain, man. So, Tarkir Dragonstorm. I had an amazing time in my pre-release. Such great people I was with. A new place I'd never been to. It was fabulous. Had a great time. Had a very 1990s feel to the place, you know? A lot of great players out there and really good players. Like, wow. Anyway, I won't spoil that part. We'll talk about it at the we'll talk about it at the live stream, okay? We'll save it for the live stream. This Ramble Jamble was brought to you by Wyrm Coffee. Watered down Wyrm Coffee just because I needed something, but I didn't want to stay awake all night. You know what I'm saying? You guys get it. You get it. And if you don't get it, well, I'll explain it to you. Just come back next time. Turn the lights off on your way out.